Hello everyone, this is Tom Vogel with the pro wrestling game Wrestling's Finest, and we're going to continue our series of videos here today. And what I'm going to do with this video is I am going to show you the computer feature for Wrestling's Finest where the computer control one or both wrestlers. And for this video, the computer will control one of them and I will control the other wrestler. So first thing we do is we're going to pick our wrestlers, and I'm going to pick Stone Cold Steve Austin, and we're going to use the face Stone Cold. And then we're going to go to the champion set, and I'm going to use Nick Bockwinkel, one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and that's not just my opinion. If you're too young to know much about Nick Bockwinkel, you owe it to yourself and for the respect of the old legendary wrestlers to do a little YouTube research on the man. Incredible interviews, incredible in-ring performer. Unfortunately, I believe he passed away at least 2 years ago. So with him at ringside will be his manager, Bobby Heenan, and Mr. Heenan has two ratings. One's his regular manager rating, and then the other is his world champion. So we're going to go with that. Now, if you see right where my cursor is here, we are going to allow the computer to control Stone Cold. Once you choose the wrestler, or you choose the computer control, you have to decide what category. And you really need to stick with what he's categorized as. If you were to pick like heel or tweener, the decisions he make are not going to coincide with being a face. So we're going to keep it at face. Pre-match setting, this is the setting for how often you want a pre-match attack to occur when the computer's controlling a wrestler. We're just going to leave it at normal. And here, we don't need to make any changes here because we have Bobby Heenan here, and I'm going to control the wrestler. So we're going to click OK.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall.
Now, up here, if you remember for our match setup, we are going to change the match type, and we're going to select what's known as Defend the Title. This is only used when a heel champion is defending a title. And when you see all these matches here, what it means is each one of the matches that you're seeing on your screen there uses a specific outside ring chart that's unique for that type of match. So for Defend the Title, it's going to have results on there that coincide with what a heel champion would do to keep his belt. Remember, the goal is to keep his belt. Back in the old territory days, champions would get disqualified virtually every night because they wanted to keep the title on them. Therefore, they, in order to not have their opponents get pinned every night, the champion was a lot of the time disqualified. So when I click Defend the Title, you might hear an audio talking a little bit about the match by certain wrestlers. So here we go.
Wahoo! I got the belt back! But I don't want it back! If you're a better man than me, just show me! And I'm not saying nothing by the rules! Forget about the rules! Just get the ring and be a man! Look at me in the eye! Tie up with me! Chop me, punch me, kick me! But go into this face to face! And give me the opportunity! And I have it! To look you in the eye and knock their teeth out and break your nose and open your head up and jump on your head and break your leg.
Okay, I think that was Ric Flair comments gonna face Wahoo McDaniel, and I think Mr. Flair was a little upset in that audio there. So we're back here. We got Defend the Title up here at the top. Now for the rest of the match setup, we're going to set tournament DQ rules. Stone Cold is going to go tourney DQ rules, -10. And again, this is going to allow him to avoid DQs, but also will cut down his outside the ring activity. We are going to set champion for the match, Nick Bockwinkel, and that will make his third pin rating go to 1. We're going to accept it, and then we're going to set the time limit, and it's going to be 60 minutes. We're going to be okay. Then, before we get into do the trading of holds, what's going to happen here is, I want to explain a little bit here. You'll notice Nick Bockwinkel has a pin rating of 13, 12, 1. Remember, each one of these is based out of 40. And you'll see Stone Cold is 29, 21, 2. That's a very, very good pin rating. All the wrestlers in the champion set, I believe there's 21 of them, they're rated for when they held the title. And I believe you had to have held the title for over 2 years or greater. Now, if you held the title and then lost it like for a real short period and then won it right back, that would be considered one large title reign. The pin rating is based on a lot of research I did for how many defenses approximately each wrestler did or had during his title run. And the pin ratings are phenomenal. The goal is try to replicate, say I wanted to do a Nick Bockwinkel project or I was doing the AWA. You know, he held the title for years, and that's what the goal is to try to do, is to give him every opportunity to try to mirror his real life title reign. Some people really like the champion set and others prefer not to use it. That's just personal preference, whatever you want to do. So just want to give you a brief explanation there. And now we're going to go to our trade holds. And interesting here, no suggestions for Stone Cold. And for Nick Bockwinkel, they're saying trade the speed move. I'm actually going to ignore that for this match. And I know the box is cut off here, but right below my arrow here, there's a done box. So we'll click that. And I believe we are ready to get going. I believe I set the time limit. Let's just make sure. And now for pre-match, the computer will decide, but my guess is he won't do an attack only because wrestlers don't want to blow their opportunity when facing the world champion. So I don't think anything's going to happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and start the match, but let's look at strategy cards. Stone Cold can stop a DQ, which is very important in a world title match. He can counter any strategy card played by Nick. He can call for outside help. Probably not a real advantageous card being a face. And then he gets another outside help. And then he gets a foreign object. Now, even though Stone Cold's a face, I might see him using a foreign object. So let's click cancel. For Nick Bockwinkel, we got outside ring chart. He's going to try to get him outside the ring. He can stop the DQ. And even though he's a champion, as I stated when we went over the strategy cards, this card should be used every time, even if the guy's a champion. The main reason we have these in is, well, I shouldn't say the main, but one of the big reasons is to prevent early DQs. Because since, you know, the matches aren't booked, you know, there's no way we can say, hey, don't have this match, you know, you have to go more than 10 minutes. So during pin attempt, if he's getting pinned or submitting, Nick has to get to a ropes card, which is excellent. Here he has a specific specialty hold, another excellent card, another stop DQ card, another outside ring, another specific specialty hold. These are great cards Nick has. However, I do want to point something out. Nick does not have an outside help card. That could play very, very big in this match. We'll see, though. So we'll cancel. And I believe we can start, but let's look at the cards here. Just kind of a quick glance here. Stone Cold has a very high cut rating. Like mentioned, excellent pin rating, excellent successful holds. He's going to get a boost from the fans. Auto control loss is very good. Control, about half his holds are going to be legal hammering, the other half are going to be illegal. His counters are excellent. He does have a short fuse, so watch for a DQ. I mean, it will be limited based on his tourney DQ rule setting. His legal hold, see if anything stands out here. Likes the elbow smash, leg drop, knee smash, whip into ropes. Very solid card here, very good counters. Illegal holds, Stone Cold, variety of them. Has choking. I mean, it's pretty balanced. This is a very good card. Now his specialty moves. We have the mud hole stomp, the clothesline. Here's the biggie, the Stone Cold Stunner. One of the best moves in the game. He also has the pile driver, and he has a foreign object. Stone Cold is an excellent, excellent wrestler. Let's look at Mr. Bockwinkel. Excellent defense, excellent successful hold, excellent auto control loss, cut ratings. He'll get cut, not a lot. His hammering, he actually will do more legal holds. I'm going to point out a couple things there. Up here, excellent counters for Nick. Very, very good counters. If we go to the legal holds, you'll notice 1 to 7, Nick likes to work the arm over. And his control for that hold, excellent too. 37 is very high. He likes to use the forearm and the knee smash. Again, his counters are excellent. And let's go to his illegal. Nick loves to choke. He has 9 choke numbers. He only has 9 punch numbers, which is kind of low for a heel, but he does have the 3 illegal low blows. So Nick's going to probably go for the choke. He also likes the turnbuckle. And then his specialty, he has the flying knee drop. The pile driver's his big move. Abdominal stretch and figure 4, 2 excellent submission moves. And then the foreign object, Nick will occasionally go to that. Not a lot, but it's there. So, gives you a highlight of both wrestlers' cards. Remember, the computer's going to make all decisions for Stone Cold. So here we go. Oh, here we've got our little matchup here. Nick, since he's rated as a champion, the champion's always going to get the nod in these matches. Doesn't mean Stone Cold can't win. It's just going to be very difficult to beat a champion. Or I shouldn't say beat the champion. It's going to be very difficult for Stone Cold to win the title. So here we go. So we're going to start here. Nick got control, went for a quick pin hold. Austin countered it. Austin, throwing the rule book out, decides to bite the ear of Nick. Austin failed to take advantage of a mental lapse. He loses control. A beautiful drop kick by Nick. Steve makes another little mistake. Maybe he's a little nervous here, but he regains control. Greets him with a forearm after a rope whip. Headbutt has Nick staggering a little bit on the side of the head. Specialty match action. This means that the specialty match action refers to defend the title. Stone Cold does not use that chart. He uses the regular outside ring chart. And in this case, he did not make the requirements how to get to the chart. So he's going to go for an arm hold. Nick has a possible DQ. He's going to stop it. Another one by Nick. He's going to stop it. I believe those were the only 2 stop cards Nick had. So he can no longer stop any DQ. So Stone Cold will want to, press the advantage if he can here. Reverse chop to the chest, 6 off Nick. We got 25 off Nick, 5 off Stone Cold. Another headbutt. Stone Cold went for the ropes, but Bockwinkel was ready and he countered it. And I can picture that being where Stone Cold maybe came down, hit the mat hard, stunned. Nick quickly jumps up and gets him high up for a vertical suplex. Okay, here's interesting. Nick has a choice of using Bobby Heenan's card or using the Defend the Title chart. We're going to go to Defend the Title. Here we go.
Face now has become a crimson mask.
As Gordon said, we got a crimson mask now on Stone Cold. 30 off for the cut, 15 off for being run into the ring post. So Stone Cold's already down to 3 on his stamina. 61 off, Nick's 29. So just with that one move, Nick really turned the tide of this match. Here we go. Flying headbutt from Bockwinkel. He's going to go for the pin. 1, 2, and 8. So since the 8 was higher than the 2, Stone Cold powered out. Nick goes for a bear hug. Try to wear Austin down, and you'll notice Stone Cold's already in his next stamina level. So we added, since that second rating's 5, his pin rating of 29-21-2 went to 34-26-2. Nice kick to the solar plexus. Bockwinkel, another kick to the forehead. Legal arm hold. Remember how I pointed out Nick had the 1-7. Austin bends his finger straight back, thus controlling the arm, more wearing Stone Cold down. Here Bockwinkel has a choice, and he's going to stick with the arm hold. He failed the requirement to get to the specialty match chart to defend the title, so he elected to do the arm hold. Stone Cold battles back and kicks on Nick right in the forehead. Stone Cold is going to gamble here and go for an early specialty move. Let's see if Nick's wore down enough to land it. He got it! He lands the Stone Cold Stunner. Now, the only problem is, even though it's a great move, Nick still wasn't tired quite enough, so his pin rating, even though it's high, it's still going to be very difficult to get the pins. But let's see what happens. 1, 2, ropes. So right when the ref was ready to hit that mat for the third time, Mr. Bockwinkel was able to get to the ropes. Austin pressing the advantage. He's going for a pin here. Doesn't get it. Still keeping control as Austin. So Stone Cold's now taking the battle outside the ring. Let's see what happens here. These are always a little scary because a lot can happen. Interesting. Stone Cold went for an outside ring move, but it was countered. And then Nick went to try a move, and it was countered. So we have a double counter, so neither wrestler is able to do anything. Stone Cold, legal leg hold, dropped toe hold on Bockwinkel, wearing the legs a little bit. Went for a headlock, but Nick countered it. Uh-oh, we could have a match, and Nick might have had enough and could have a DQ. No, referee probably just warned them. So we got 5 off. Match is up to 12:29. Stone Cold's 25 to go to his next level. Nick has 11 to go. You'll notice Nick's second stamina level is 4, which is phenomenal. That means we're only going to add 4 to the first 2 numbers. Drops all his weight down in Stone Cold's ankle. And here we got a big punch by Nick, and he's actually going to go for a pin. We got a 1. Does not even get the 2 count. Whips into ropes, meets him with an elbow. But in the process, I could see Stone Cold coming up quick and then surprising Nick with a flying mare. Nick headbutt to the side of Stone Cold's head. Got a little temper flaring. Referee steps between and the cooler heads prevail. Nick had a mistake here. Auto control loss. A little confused. Doesn't happen often. And Austin seizes on this and takes control. Little power move here. Lifts him underneath the chin and throws him to the mat. Nick's down to 1 till he goes to the next stamina level. This is a case here where Stone Cold had a disqualify check, and he used his strategy card. That was the computer calling for that. So that would have been a move a computer chose to do. Here, which is interesting, Stone Cold has a foreign object here, so we'll see if the computer maybe decides to use that at some point. I don't think he will, but you just never know. So we're going back outside the ring. And here Stone Cold hurled Bockwinkel out to the arena floor. Stone Cold taking over here. No action. Bockwinkel assumes control, and he's going to go lock on the ankle lock, trying to maybe slow the pace down and wear Stone Cold down. You'll notice Stone Cold is now in his next stamina level, so his pin rating slowly increasing, and Nick did hit his. Uppercut form to Austin's chin. We're going for a pin. We got a 1, 2. Ooh, it was close, but didn't quite get it. Nick makes another mistake. Austin takes control, but he went for a chop, but Bockwinkel was ready for it. Went for a suplex. Austin counters that. And then here we got a textbook arm drag by Stone Cold Steve Austin. Nice move. Austin punching away, barely stops at the ref's count. Now another counter. Stone Cold goes for the headlock, but Bockwinkel's ready for it. Here we have body press, and Bockwinkel's going for the pin. 1, does not get the 2 count. Bockwinkel goes to wrench the neck, 5 off. Keeps on neck twist. Nick's really wearing him down. He goes back to the arm bar. So now Austin's down to 40. This is a good example here of Nick Bockwinkel demonstrating his mat skills. I want to point something out here. Let's click his card. You'll notice Nick has hammering of 49, which means that anytime a 0 to 49 is turned, basically 50% of the time we're going to have a legal hold, or a hammering hold, and then 0 to 29 it's going to be legal. So we're seeing Nick utilize, he has 1 to 7 for arm holds and 12 to 16 for leg holds, maybe soften them up for the figure 4. So this here shows you how Nick Bockwinkel's style is very well captured. So let's go back here. Stone Cold does a neck hold, cinches up on the crossface. Austin tries to use a turnbuckle, but Bockwinkel counters it. Nick comes back with a series of punches. Austin fires back. Austin big chop. Austin whips into Bockwinkel ropes, high knee to the chest. Nick luckily counters this here because the tide was getting turned. You'll see the stamina's 157 to 131. Let's look Nick's cards over. You know what? Let's see if Nick, he's going to try to get it outside the ring. Oh, the computer opponent used one of their strategy cards to counter that move to try to go outside the ring. The computer decided that where Austin's stamina level is, where we're at in the match, warranted not allowing Nick to go outside the ring. Plus, there's always a chance that we could have had a count out or a double count out. Thus, Stone Cold would have been cheated out of possibly winning the title. So let's continue here. Bockwinkel puts him in a front chancery. We're going to go back to play his other outside ring card, see if we can get it again. It failed. The test failed. Every time you have an outside ring or a disqualification, there's a check made using the rating of the wrestler who's in question. And if it doesn't meet the level required for that time, then you either choose an arm hold or punch. And we chose the arm hold for Bockwinkel. So Bockwinkel clamping on the submission. I'm probably not going to use a strategy card now until we can get Austin to his next stamina level. Hopefully it doesn't backfire, but let's see here. Stone Cold trying to go outside the ring. Splashed on floor, so now Bockwinkel's down to 18. Now we have a flying mare. Again, he wasn't able to go outside the ring, so he elected to use punches and knocks it down to 8. Steve made a mistake. He guessed wrong and loses control. Bockwinkel kicks him in the shoulder. We're down to 15. Bockwinkel uses a cross-face neck hold to knock him down to 10. And here we go. High suplex, 11 off. Stone Cold is now in his next stamina level. I think Nick's going to go for the kill. Let's see what he has left. He has 2 specific specialty holds. We're going for it. He has to have a successful hold, though, for him in order for him to try to do this. He does. So what are we going to go? And in looking early in the match, we're going to go with the pile driver. Nick has won lots of matches with the pile driver. Let's see what happens here. He got it. Now, tough decision here. Nick can go for the illegal pin. I think I explained this earlier. I'm glad this came up. Problem is, or maybe a problem, Stone Cold's already 40-42. Nick's pile driver's 18-16-2. So that means we are going to have a pin probably, if my math's correct, is 40-40-38. So Austin would need a miracle to somehow get out of this. So we're going to click no for the illegal pin. It's 40-40-36, because I wasn't quite on. So that means unless ropes comes up in one of these first two, you're going to get an automatic 1 and 2, because it's 40 out of 40, 40 out of 40, and then 36 out of 40. So Stone Cold's in trouble. So we're going to go 1, 2. Oh, Stone Cold got to the ropes. He used his wisdom. That means he was pinned, and at about a 2 3/4, he got his foot on the ropes. Wow. Okay, we have no action. Stone Cold might be his last shot to pull this out. Stone Cold Stunner. Stone Cold Stunner. We have 40-40-12. Nick's in trouble. 1, 2. But Nick has a strategy card. He is going to use it. He got to the ropes. So let's review this. Now, the computer still has an outside help, and foreign object. Not a lot of good cards for Stone Cold. Bockwinkel only has 1, but it's a specific specialty hold. So let's see what goes here. Austin taking over. Bockwinkel counters it, went for a headlock. We're going to try it again. Play this card. He has to have a successful hold, which he actually did because a counter is considered it. So picture Stone Cold going for a headlock and Bockwinkel shooting him off, possibly tripping him. Maybe he goes off the ropes. A shoulder block puts him down. So now Nick, let's see what he does here. He's going to go for the pile driver again. We're going to go, okay. He's going to go for it. Pile driver. 40-40-36. Can Stone Cold pull out another miracle? Unbelievable. Stone Cold pulled the rabbit out of his hat a second time. He got ropes. Wow. Match will continue. And Nick is now out of strategy cards. And should he get in a pitting predicament, he can't even call Bobby Heenan. So Stone Cold avoided a DQ. We're up to almost 35 minutes. Bockwinkel goes for a choke, and he's going to go for a pin. Front chancery, rolls him over. 1, 2. Austin avoids it. Bockwinkel gets chance for a specialty move. Now, in this case, the game will pick it based on, the frequency he used each move. So let's see what he ends up with. Pile driver countered. Pile driver countered. Stone Cold comes from the ropes with a knee drop. 1. Bockwinkel kicks out. Possible DQ on Stone Cold.
What a brawl. I've never seen anything like it. Now they're trying to get somebody in to help stop this thing. This is just totally out of hand.
Excellent, excellent ending. I know a lot of people want clean finishes, but I love this. This, to me, shows how wrestling's finest captures the old school style. Austin hung with him. The stamina was very close. We have 234. Bockwinkel was 200. We had some blood from Austin. Excellent ending. Now, let's say you were running a territory or a project or, whatever it may be. You now decide, is Stone Cold get a return bout? I'm kind of big where if the champion walks out with the title, it doesn't necessarily mean the challenger gets an immediate rematch because, Bockwinkel probably has, prior commitments coming up. In the past, I have done a couple Ric Flair projects where he defends the title, I want to say 18 times out of 30 days. So if this would have been the result, maybe in a month or two, the opponent would have received the rematch. But this is great. Stone Cold somehow pulled out, I don't know how he did it, but he avoided the pins after the pile drivers by getting to the ropes on 2 separate times. Nick did avoid the Stone Cold Stunner by getting to the ropes. So this was an incredible match. Bobby Heenan did not become involved. I did have an opportunity to use him once, but I elected not to. Had the computer been controlling Bockwinkel, he still would not have used Heenan because there were no outside help cards. Now, maybe in the situation where I elected not to use them, the computer would have. But excellent match. I'll let you look at the stats here real quickly. Again, we got to see the use of the strategy cards. We got to see the illegal pin decision Nick had. In hindsight, that was a great decision because even if he would have got extra pin numbers, it wouldn't have been worth it because the ref had a chance of catching it, and then Nick would have lost the chance of being able to pin Austin when his rating was 40-40-36. You don't want to, when you get a pin rating that high, you don't necessarily want to gamble because the risk is just too much. Like I said, we had the cut, so we're going to take a quick look at the single match statistics. Stone Cold had 21 holds. Nick had 24. Nick had 7 pin attempts. Stone Cold had 4. We had 3 DQ checks for Stone Cold, 3 for Nick, and each wrestler was able to use 2 specialty holds. Nick, if you look here, if you come down to his card here, you'll see that he used 4 kicks, 2 arm holds, 2 submissions, 1 pin hold, so 4 neck holds. Where Stone Cold, he had quite the ride. He had 2 punches. That's off your screen. He used the kick a couple times. But anyway, this is kind of a neat little thing to, you can review after each match. So here is, I'm really glad we had this type of match just because you got to see a lot of things in it. And hopefully you enjoyed it. I know this video went long, but I wanted to show you how the computer opponent worked. The next match I do, I'm going to play both these wrestlers again, but I'm going to let the wrestler or the computer control both of them. And my job will be just to keep the action advancing by, occasionally having to click a continue button. Again, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you found this match entertaining. I sure did. This is a really fun match. It was we didn't have a lot of auto control loss. It didn't get bogged down with nothing occurs. We had a lot of action. 2 very evenly rated competitors. Bockwinkel, of course, having the huge advantage with his champion rating. So hopefully their next match will be just as good, but you just never know. Since we're not the promoter, we have no control over how long the match goes or what occurs in it. Sometimes the best match on paper can turn out to be a dud, or other times a match you're not maybe looking forward to, but you have it because it's a tournament or you're running a territory, and it's kind of a filler match, can turn out to be, best match on the card. So have a great evening, everyone, and I really appreciate you joining in. Thank you very much.